Hey, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everyone out there. And if you've missed me for a night or a day, we're back. We had some technical problems with our green screen. We got that all fixed. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, everybody. Wisdom Keeper, Solo 45. This is Commander Alion, the host of the late night show Encounters. Let's talk UFOs, ET visitations, and of course, disclosure. For those new here, good morning, GFA. Good to have you with us. Mr. B, good morning. Good morning, Chris. We're going to say some shout outs to all the people watching. Courtney, Jot, good to see you. End Times, good morning. Dewey 307, good morning. Arturo, good morning. Wisdom Keeper, good day, fellow humans. And please share and like, get the thing going there. Tap, 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 everybody. Please share. Most importantly, please share. Let 10 or 15 other people know about the show. Don't keep it to yourself. Let everybody know about Encounters, the #1 UFO talk show on social media. I'm Commander Alion from Mars originally. Encounters, the #1 UFO talk show on social media. I'm Commander Alion from Mars originally. I worked with the Ashtar Galactic Command before there was any internet. I'm a contactee from the 1960s with human spiritual beings of light in a spaceship. So I'm the real deal. Results, welcome Miss Kate, 5D, thank you. Zion Rock 7, welcome. Brian Sayer, welcome everyone coming in here. And the video I posted of an airline jet passenger taking a video of really bright spaceships over New Mexico coming from North Carolina, airline flight from North Carolina going to LAX. A person was sitting at the window side and got to record an armada of either one spaceship or armada of a number of really luminous, bright spaceships. Good morning, everybody. One Toyota, 123. Good morning. Stephanie Fox. Good morning. Landon Fire. Good morning. Disco Dally. Ashley Taylor. Brent. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Harry 31. Welcome to the show. Trey. Loving the tie-dye. Thank you. We have a lot of tie-dye. We're definitely a tie-dye kind of person. The Matthew, welcome. Locomotion 369. Lance, welcome to the show. Lacey Bird, good to see you. Miranda Hall, welcome to the show. I'm looking at all the names coming in here. Some are new, some I've never heard of. We're glad to see more people coming in here. Jessica Hunt, welcome. Not me. I like that. Not me. There you go. Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. We're going to have to bring him in here on this morning's show. Hopefully he's available, not undisposed or whatever, still in the rabbit hole. Dawn, welcome to the show. Dano, 44 Knowledge, thanks for the likes. Rico, welcome, Rico. Welcome, everybody. Martin Jackson, welcome to the show. Steve M201. Jenny, welcome to Encounters. I'm in listening mode right now. I get you. We'll be on tonight as well, so hopefully he'll be coming up from the rabbit hole. He's our co-host, Mud Puppy. Well, it could be a Muddy Puppy. Huge, welcome to the show. Capricorn, welcome to the show. Rico, hello. Good to have you with us. James, I'm trying to catch Sem Prepper or something. Welcome to the show. I didn't get to catch it totally there. Wisdom Keeper, thanks for the likes. William Murphy, 2323, welcome. Julian Starseed. Julian's a starseed. I know that because it's Julian Starseed. Mary, good to see you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and a good cosmic morning to everybody out there on Encounters. Gray Spa 43, welcome. Wisdom Keeper, thanks for the heart. The Earth. I was abducted when I was 8. Okay, this is we're gonna follow you there, Josh Casey. Unfortunately, we have to get you up to 200 followers so you can come on live. So everybody follow Josh. He's almost at 100. We'll get him up to 200 for audio interviews. Why can't I have an experience? Well, I'm going to actually, Beck, turn your private mode on the follow thing. Turn that off. I want to follow you, and I want to bring you up on live. I'm going to help you out here about contact. You say, why can't I have an experience? I'm going to help you with that. So turn your, on your TikTok, you have yourself set on private. Go to public, and I'm going to follow you, and then I'll be able to bring you on the show. I'm going to help you out here. I can't. I'm at work. Oh, you're at work? When you're not at work, if you're on tonight, I'll be on at 11 o'clock for my late night show. Lopaka, good to see you, and I'll answer your question. I'd rather answer it with like a audio connection. I'm at work also, Miss Kate. Okay, there you go. But yeah, definitely do that, and I want to definitely talk to you. There you go. I met a satellite tech from DoD yesterday. Interesting. We're going to have to get you on live tonight to talk about that satellite tech and see if you got any information. Everyone's at work, but you're here watching the show. Congratulations. Same story as Shy. Excellent. So they must have some security clearance. And we'll have to get Shy back on here because I got a feeling she's not been on for days. I've been leaving her alone to do what she needs to do, but I'm pretty sure she has more information. Dizzo Paid, welcome to the show. Keith Powell, welcome to the show. Use the 7376. Mahar Jafar, welcome to the show. Rachel D. Vine, welcome to the show. Doris Ramez, welcome to the show. Diana Aston, welcome to the show. James, welcome to the show. I'm just trying to reach these names real quick. User 528, welcome to our show. Pink Hippie Heather, that's a great name. Chase, welcome to Encounters. El Guppo. Julian Starseed, welcome back. Yu Lin, welcome to our show. Everybody here, we acknowledge everybody here on this show, man. That's what Voluba, I think it's Volube. Welcome to our show. Tamara, welcome to our show. Accra, I think it's Akal or something. J Duke. I'm trying to keep up. It's so fast. Akaralibu or something. Burr. Southern Belle. There you go. Welcome, everybody. Biz. Welcome to the show, Biz. Showbiz. There you go. I think we will be in contact in the year 2025, Lacey says. Nanner, welcome. Larry Russell, BKA Big. Jay Burnell, welcome to the show. Angel 66. Welcome to Encounters. You're all Jennifer Neff. Let's see. P. Hal something. I'm not getting that right. J. Lee 08. Welcome to our show. This is Encounters. And if you're coming in here for the first time, this is the most talked about UFO talk show on social media. I don't care who tries to copy us or whatever. This is where it's at. You want to know cosmic disclosure? You want to share your visitations with ETs or spiritual beings from other planets? This is where we are hearing that. People come on here with all kinds of experiences, UFO sighting reports. And we have our DOD contact that comes on, and she provides us with top secret information on this show. You're not going to get that anywhere else on TikTok, on Facebook. You're going to get it right here. I'm host of WESU-FM's radio show for 20 years on Pacifica Radio called the Cosmic Eye Astro Command Radio. I'm also a contactee. So not only am I doing a show that I really, truly believe in, I'm a contactee from the 1960s. I had contact with space beings that are human, wearing like a light bluish outfit, the men, women, and children. And it was hovering in my cul-de-sac one night. I went up to open a window. There was a ship, and they were telepathically communicating with me. I think I got it switched for next time. Oh, Beck. You got your schedule switched for next time? Or David Schroeder, welcome to the show. Mr. B, welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have everybody with us. If you have a story to share, the one thing I love here is listening to people's encounter stories, your UFO stories. You have to have 200 plus followers, and we can now get you on audio. Your privacy. So you want to switch your privacy in general to public, not private, because then I won't be able to get you on live when you have 200 followers. You have 286 followers. So when you switch it to public and you're able to come on, I'll be able to just accept your request and you'll be able to talk on the show with audio. Pamela, welcome to the show. When we raise our vibration, how do we know we are dealing with star beings and not other light beings? Well, star beings and light beings are the same. The star beings is just another term. Light being, star being. The star beings are light beings, and the star beings can also be humanoid, but really it's all the same thing. It's just semantics. So your star being, light being are basically equal. Right. And talking in a paranormal sense. Well, the paranormal sense, you will know when you ask, if you're making contact with a star being or what you call a light being. I always ask when I'm making my communications, if you're not a Christed being of light, you may not communicate with me. You can always ask telepathically that question. If you're getting telepathic communications, what you call a star being or a light being, and they truly are that, they will respond to your question. That's the only thing you have to ask them. Do you accept Christ as your, do you just accept Christ, the way to put it? And if they say yes, you know they're truly not a cosmic joker. They are exactly that. Most star beings, when we use the term star being, and I appreciate the question, even in the paranormal sense, a star being is a being of light, a spiritual being of light. A light being is truly another spiritual being of light, just called a light being. So there are different types of beings, but really the two most common words used are light being or star being, is that they are operating in Christ consciousness. Yes, I mean Christ consciousness. That's correct, Miss Kate. Yep. Any other type of being other than that would not be what we call a higher vibrational being. If you have an encounter with ETs, and understand the word extraterrestrial is, the definition for me is extra means beyond. Terrestrial, we are terrestrial. Extra means beyond. Terrestrial, Earth, extra, beyond. So simply that would be the way to define it. Extraterrestrial can mean many different types of beings. Light beings, star people, our space brothers and sisters, whatever. But that's what I like to define it as, so people don't get too confused with all these different terminologies. And if you have any questions, folks, please ask the questions. I'm on here till about 10:15 a.m., an hour and 15 minutes show this morning. And if you want to come on as a guest, we'll certainly welcome it. Wisdom Keeper. Let's see if we can get him on. We got the Wisdom Keeper. Hey, Wisdom Keeper. Here it is, my friend, Wisdom. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. How's it
We're
going?
live, and we're doing good. I'm turning my volume up here, but we're live in the meditation room, but I got the green screen on. We had some technical problems with TikToks with their green screen. It wasn't loading up properly, and their technical people fixed it. I sent them a message, and everything's working good now. So, good morning. Oh,
Hold on.
you just disappeared. There you
Yeah,
are.
sorry.
Is it
I
real
was
or is
I
it
was
memory?
gonna put on the green screen and I was like, oh no, that's all right.
No,
Yeah,
you
right in the
you
middle.
don't need a green screen where you are. You got everything all pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to go. I have to I have a show in like 40 minutes, so I have to make sure I get what I was gonna say out, because you're right. You're perfectly right on track, because a lot of people are they're curious about these. I mean, even when we're talking about beings, like when beings of light or beings like extra dimensional beings, um, spiritual beings, physical, um, not so physical beings. There's so many different types of ways to exist that most people just think everything is ET or star people, and it's like, no, there's so much, but you're right though. The main thing is like, and I want people to think about it like this,
Yeah.
that um, okay, say for example, the people that you hung out with before you went to college, a lot of the times if they don't go to college or something, become more educated, they tend to fall away, and it's not because
Mm.
they're you're different or it's your ego. Sometimes it is that, but sometimes it's that you tend to move towards people that are in that certain, they share that, where you can talk on an educated level. And so, and sometimes your friends that aren't so educated, they go, "Oh,
Right.
you look at you, you big brain. You just can't think. You don't think like you
Your
used
big
to.
brain.
You've changed." And it's like, yeah, you have changed, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the most part, when we're talking about these beings that are of a higher vibration, it's a very simple thing. It's when we learn to resonate and be more harmonious with those uh, different vibrations, when we become accustomed to them, then are more likely to come into our lives.
And
You know,
I'm bringing in this person Froggy because I'm listening to you, and I
Froggy.
want him to come on live and turn his camera on. I'm going to answer his question. I feel much better answering your question, not from your sentence, but I like to have that rapport personally with my guests. So Froggy,
Mhm.
can you turn on your camera? Good morning.
What's going on,
There
guys?
you are, Froggy. Good
Good
morning. You have
morning.
a great question. I really think it's
Well,
an important question. So thanks for agreeing to come on live on Encounters.
yeah, I've got some theories of my own. I actually I consider myself a Christian, but I believe in aliens, so that kind of sets me apart from them, and it's really hard to congregate and talk to them
Mhm.
because of the same things I believe in.
Now, your question, do they own humans? Are we slaves? Will some help us? So some great questions there, man. I'm going to answer them because being a contactee, I've had experiences with the positive spiritual beings when I was a kid. So they don't own humans. So we get that out of the way. The extraterrestrials don't own any humans at all. Wherever there might be websites promoting fear-based stuff like that, and I've seen them over the last couple of decades of internet. So throw that out the window. Those are people's perceptions and their own agendas. Are we slaves? No. That's another thing you'll hear people talk about on websites over the decades, depending on their agenda. They'll say humans are slaves to evil beings from other planets. That's not true.
Mhm.
So we'll throw that out the window. Will some
Yeah.
help us? Yes. So my friend Wisdom Keeper, he works with the Star Nation. He can tell you things very much so. He's works on that level. There are my friend Athena in LA. She knew all the contactees from the 60s and 50s that met a giant rock. Many of them are not alive anymore. They went on ships, on flying saucers, what they called them. They'd be visited by people in suits, nicely dressed, and they say, are you ready? And they say, ready for what? You're coming with us. They take them out. The ship would be right there in the desert, and they'd be taken on the ship. Now, they called themselves Venusians. It doesn't mean they were from Venus, but that's the term they would use. And these were very beautiful men and women, just like us, not monsters like in ET movies or whatever. And they gave messages to these people. And these people wrote books that are not available anymore. I have some of them. And, so there are lower vibrational beings that maybe don't have the best interests and they have their own personal agenda, but they're not here to enslave us. They're just on their own personal thing. The
Mhm.
positive beings, the star people, what I call the star beings, the angelic beings are part of that galactic thing, and also the light beings. Really, it's semantics in a way, but they are here to assist us. They're not gods. They're not goddesses. They're not here to save us. They are just like us. They're just more spiritually attuned than we are. So we're getting to that level. We're just starting to wake up. And so I just want to clarify in terms of your question. It's so good. They're here to help us, but they're not our saviors. I want to get that out of people's heads, and I know wisdom people will agree with me. They're not here. People say, when are the people, the galactic people, going to come and save us? They're not here to save us. They've been through what we've been through eons ago. What they're here to do is reunite with us because we're part of a galactic family, which we've forgotten about because we've been so engrossed in a 3D concept of reality, we've forgotten where we come from. And we don't come from Earth. We live here, but we all come from, even yourself, Froggy, we all come from other planetary systems, but we just don't remember that, you know? So, yeah, I think you have some great questions. I had to
Mhm.
have you on here to try to answer them.
And there's a something this is gonna I'm gonna leave it in the form of theory, because I don't want you to think that I'm trying uh, to but this is just something to think about. Okay, that's all. Okay, because you said Christians and aliens and like those are separate, and I go, well, the deeper down the rabbit hole that you go for understanding what Jesus was, and like they say that well, I think it was down the rabbit hole that had said that the father of Jesus was Gabriel, that he was the angel Gabriel, and all the L's come from the Pleiades. So that
Playing
means
star system, yeah.
that and then Jesus's name that he was saying it was Emmanuel. And that's just a pronunciation, but it's Emmanuel, and that means he's from the Pleiades as well. Not this isn't a theology talk. This is just something that there's schools, the Emmanuel schools that exist on the planet in different locations, and those are the Christ schools. Those are the
Yeah.
Jesus. Those are the Jesus. The teachings of they call him Yeshua or Yeshua Ben Hur or
Hmm.
Jesus. Uh, there's so many names for this one being that we all refer to as Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
and understand that Christ is not his last name. He was of the Ben Hur family. So,
There you go.
but there's a lot of speculation when it comes to all of this
Yeah.
information. But just know that when we're talking about star people, we're star people because our sun is a star. We tend to just like start we shrink ourselves all the way down from like from star person down to earthling down to human down to
Right.
like almost nothing. We're like this little tiny little nothing of existence. And the truth is that we are of the stars. We are star beings. And the way that I know that is because that the essence of the thing that is looking through your eyes right now powers that body. It powers
Mm.
it. It's your battery. You are the battery that is helping the heart to beat and the brain, the blood to flow. And it's like, well, me? Like me, like I'm doing that? And it's like the essence, the being that's inside is doing that. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's creating this clay, mud, bone, mineral, water thing to be animate.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got. Okay, so I was watching, the court, whatever they were trying to, let everybody know that aliens are real, blah blah blah. And so he said they referred to the beings like the gray. I guess they were grays, and they referred to them
Right.
as biologicals. Then I was reading something um, about some guy who has a theory. He wrote a whole book on it, and he said that I forget the writer's name, but he said that the Greys are biological, like robots or artificial intelligent robots, but they're
Mm.
biological. And what I
So,
thought was hold on, wait, let me finish. So what I thought was interesting is I was actually watching a movie where these aliens came and they were attacking the Earth, and there was a family running. Check it out. Well, listen, it made me think about something. And so I was like, okay, so, and then it turns out that they weren't aliens. They were actually the humans trying to come back to take the Earth back from these biological robots that were so advanced that they could actually, make tiny baby robots. And what I thought was funny is that I was watching like the tiny molecular structure of the human body. And if you look
Yeah.
at it, it kind of looks like. Then I started thinking, well, maybe the aliens were trying to create a fake world for us, so that makes us think that we're real, but we're really not real. We're probably biological robots ourselves. And when you break down the human body in a tiny molecular structure and you look at these microscopic designs of the human body, it just does. It looks like it's mechanical. It doesn't biological. And when I looked at that, I was like, wait a minute, maybe we are the robots and they had to create this fake world for us because the only way it works is that if we think that we're actually alive. And maybe the
Right.
only
So,
also,
yeah.
why do we
So,
sleep? Why do we sleep?
yeah.
It's like we charge our batteries. And maybe every living thing that sleeps isn't really alive at all. It's
that's a
and
Oh
long
my
shot.
God.
maybe
I
the
want
only
to. I
reason
want to take
why
this. I want to take a step, and that's funny.
Like
And
grabbing
that's
two
why
chickens.
that's really funny, Froggy.
Okay,
And that's
Froggy,
why I always tell
one question
people
at a time.
these movies are so wild, and you have to just sit there when you're watching them. And I have watched them, and I'm like falling off my seat laughing. It's like, okay, this guy is a great movie creator. He created all these ideas. That's why he's a movie creator, and he's got everyone falling off the floor laughing. Either that, or they just don't, like they're bored. But that's a great way of expressing it. The thing is, also, I want to teach people one thing: aliens don't even exist. There's no such thing as on all these channels, like Ancient Aliens. That was it's a great name for a TV show, but again, they're all trapped in this whole word of aliens. There are no aliens, but there are beings, there are space people, there are different life forms and all over the universe. But on Earth, we've been projected with the word alien since we were kids. I mean, before they had cable, you didn't hear much of the word until cable came, and then they had all these channels, and they produce all these documentaries about what they call aliens. It's all a word created on Earth. It's not. There's scientists use the word alien. If you
All
talk
words
to
are created on Earth. What's the difference if you use the word alien, angel, jinn? I mean, they're beings from another planet
Yeah,
or another dimension. I
there's
mean,
no difference.
the word's not important. I don't think we all
it is.
agree.
It is important. It is
It is
important.
important. It is
The word
important.
alien means foreign. Nothing is
Yeah,
foreign. Nothing is
yeah, that's the
foreign.
thing. If you
So
say
what word?
alien, the
What
definition of
word should
alien
we
is
use?
foreign.
What word should we use?
Star
What were you?
people.
Star
Star people.
people.
Because we're
Okay.
star people.
Okay.
We're all star people. You're
It
actually a
makes
star
sense.
person
I
too,
believe
Froggy. I'm a
we
star
are star
person.
people.
Wisdom is
You're right.
everybody here is.
I think we are from somewhere else. We haven't adapted to this world like other animals. So I agree with that. And we
Yeah,
also
yeah.
I think we came from a planet that was much bigger because it seems like humans need more space than this tiny planet. You
We come
know?
from many different planets, bro. We come from
Oh yeah.
so many different solar systems. And that's what you have to understand when you listen to the word soul. Like if you have a soul, that
Right.
and solar systems, like I mean,
Yes.
and every star out there is a solar system.
Yeah.
What does that
Solar
say?
system.
Well, it's a soul system. Sure. Sure. I
Because
get
There you
we are
go.
part of that. We're a part of the bigger
Yep.
biological universe.
if we're slaves or we're property because
No.
I mean, I think that the human soul is a perpetual energy that could probably be harnessed by some of these entities or star people.
No.
They don't need
No.
to.
They
You know
don't.
why?
They don't harness
Because
it.
if you look in the sky, there's all those different stars. There's all the energy is free out there. They don't need us. They're more advanced technologically. They don't need
Yeah.
us.
They don't need
Those
us.
all those
Yeah.
movies you're talking about is all it's
Right.
all fear-based science fiction created by the
That's right.
human.
Human fear based productions where they make millions of dollars on a movie and scare the jeebies out of you. And that's why I tell people, do not watch these movies anymore, folks. I grew up watching movies like these Martians that were taking over the planet Earth, and they were in a cave. And when I was here, I was watching it, and the main Martian was in a glass thing with just his head and his power. And I'm like, are people, as I got older and reflected back on those movies, I said, is this what they are producing? Fear-based ET movies to make people afraid of people from other planets? Exactly, that's what they're doing. They're doing
Yeah.
it even today. Remember
I believe
Sigourney
that.
Weaver with Aliens? Sigourney Weaver, those great alien movies she made, and that monster alien with the big teeth and all that. That's all fear-based garbage. People need to
Yeah,
get out of that
sure.
stuff. I teach
A
people
lot of
this.
things are based on truth. Even Dracula and Frankenstein are based on some truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. Also, I think that a lot of artists throughout history, starting with paintings, have give us clues and left some clues
Mhm.
behind. Now, even in, I just saw a movie today, and it's got nothing to do with aliens. And Benicio del Toro, it's in the movie Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro, and he gets arrested. He's like CIA guy. He's
Mhm.
offing people coming after him. So anyway, it turns out that they get him in the interrogation room and they ask him,
Mhm.
why do you do these things? And his response is, "Did you know a billion chickens will be slaughtered this year?" He goes, "What if a species higher in the food chain decided that it was our time to go? how would you feel about that? The lady responds with, I don't know. That's very interesting. And he goes, but did you understand it? See, the bottom line is that I think that these movies, they're laughing in our faces, and it is like a Christianity type view. You know, there is a God, but he's just from another world. That's what I think. And I wrote a poem about.
I
Um,
am from another world.
but
I like that.
here's
Oh,
my.
wait a minute. Did I just say I was God?
What's that?
I said, did I just say I was God? And
I think
I don't
I
take
think
that back. And
James
I don't mean
Quigley.
that egotistically. And I
Right.
mean, yeah, I mean, yes, I am God, you are God. And I love this conversation because
It is. It's great.
it's you're so your mind is so beautiful,
Yeah.
Froggy, because you're what you're talking about right now is the way a lot of people think, and it's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good thing to look into, because when you're talking about the mythos of, like, when we're talking about Vlad the Impaler, right? Dracula, the one they ended up calling Dracula. You know, Vladimir, the Impaler he was a ruler that basically it was like, don't tread on this guy, right? So then they ended up calling him Dracula because now the lore becomes he must have drank their blood because he needed all those. He needs all that blood. He didn't. It was just it's a story that's created. It's like the witches, for example. The witches were the medicine women that lived in the forest that wanted to be closer to the medicine, so they could go, and they would pick them at night. They picked little things, and they would go and carry it because they were gentle with nature. And then all of a sudden, when man became afraid of these medicine women, they demonized them and turned them into these ugly hags with big noses and these ugly hats, and they rode on broomsticks, and they were so powerful they would cast spells on you and they would kill you. And it's like, that's not the truth. The truth is the exact opposite, that they lived by themselves because they couldn't be around a lot of people. So if you wanted their help, you actually had to go and find them, and they would help you and they would heal you because that was their job. And they were the most beautiful women ever.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so powerful. Yes, they could heal you very quickly, or if they wanted to, they could kill you very quickly, because that's how powerful they were. That's the dynamic of understanding. You have to understand the dark and the light when it comes to medicine. So yeah, they did create poisons, they did create toxic things, but they never used it, and they didn't get paid for it, because but the lore is, oh yeah, they'll if for money they'll give you poison, they'll give you enchanting spells and all this stuff, and it's like, that's not how it works. You know, it's a very deep responsibility for each and every human to, when you, as a medicine person, to know both sides of the coin, because it's that's your responsibility. So
I
that's where they were allowed the wisdom. See, and so when us as humans start using our imaginations, we think, well, they must be evil if they're so powerful. Well, if
well,
the government must be so evil because it's so powerful.
they
You know,
both.
anybody of power is evil in our imaginations.
You know, Satan came here. He was a fallen angel to
No, no, no,
Earth.
no, no, no. Lucifer. Sorry, don't say Satan. Lucifer, because Lucifer was the fallen angel.
Okay, Lucifer, the fallen angel, came to Earth. I think he came in a spaceship called Atlantis. I think Atlantis landed on the Atlantic Ocean. That's why they named it Atlantic. I wrote a poem about it. It goes like this. In the beginning, God created the heavens, plural form, meaning more than one. Orion's belt and Ursa Minor's sun. That's where it was. Worlds of bliss. Everything was cool till Satan got pissed. God shut him out, banned from the world. All he had was Earth, gave us a twirl, stole him a ship, called it Atlantis, landed on the ocean, speed like a mantis. Atlantis sank from taking on water. North and south was not very sensible. East and west was the only way they could go. They packed and left, even if they had to row. That's my little humor. Egyptians to the Mayans to the west, evacuation, separation, thought that it was best. Even though I wrote this and my timeline isn't correct because I was young and I didn't do a lot of research. But the way I see it is that Atlantis was a spaceship. So I'm trying to rewrite the story. And my story is this. There's heavens in Orion's belt somewhere. What are those planets? And there's a war in heaven. So God Lucifer steals a spaceship. It's called Atlantis. It's the size of Texas, okay? And he steals the ship. Now, God doesn't only have to know where he went. He's got to find out what time he went, because God is omnipotent. He can travel through times because he has the, technology to do so. So anyway, Lucifer takes this ship and he flies into an iron mountain because there's tracking beacons on the ship. So he's got to, find the tracking beacons and, put some scramblers in or whatever. And it takes about 3 months Earth time, because time's different on every planet. So it turns out that they take the ship and then he falls to Earth. And they named the Atlantic Ocean Atlantis after it, the Atlantic after Atlantis. I mean, it makes sense, plus that's the Bermuda Triangles and the Atlantic Ocean. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened. And then it says in the Bible, uh, um, darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered above the waters. That's where I think Lucifer came here with the ship. And then it also says Lucifer was sent into the abyss for 1,000 years. The abyss is water. So Michael the Archangel finds the ship. He comes down, he sinks the ship. He locks Lucifer inside of it. He tells him, hey, you can't get out. And he tells the other angels that followed him, you can roam the earth, and do what you want. You can't let him go. He's under lock and key. He's down for 1,000 years, and we're going to be watching. You can't come back to heaven. We're not allowing that. We're going to break all your ships right now, or blah, blah, blah. So that's what I think is the story, the majority of the story. And I also believe that the planets are round and hollow, just like atoms. I mean, they're too similar, like
Mm-hmm.
atoms. That means that they are, and that means that the Earth, it's not flat, it's hollow. And there's other planets, and they're all round and hollow. Most of them, it depends on how fast they spin. If they spin real fast, they become a bigger planet, like our giants, that our fourth. And that's what I think. That's just a take on it.
No, we
I haven't
appreciate
done a
that.
whole lot of research, and I'm not a scientist, and I haven't been past, my education level is not past junior college, but that's it, community college. So that's where I'm at, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to rewrite the story to bring people in so that we don't live in a godless world. I'm trying to show people and that these technology, plus not only that, I've had my own experiences. I've seen an alien firsthand wave to me just as I was waking up, so I only got to see his hand.
Well,
um
let me stop you for a minute about that, because you just mentioned that you had an experience, and we're
oh,
going
I've
to
had
get to
many
Rachel in a minute.
experiences since
I
I
want
was
to
a
know about the
kid. My
experience.
children have had experiences too. My kids have had experiences too. My daughter told me, because I think they watch you throughout the your lifetime, and then they probably watch my parents and one of my parents and my kids also. My daughter told me we were looking up at the moon. Okay, here's the first experience. It's so weird. I
We want to hear
was
about it. Let's hear about the experiences now, man.
Listen. So I was laying there, and something came over me and told me, should I go in my room and check on my children? And then something else, wasn't me, told me in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, no, just lay there and go to sleep. Man, I was like, are aliens in my kid's room? I thought this thought. And then something told my mind, that's crazy, man. Just lay there and go to sleep. So that's what I did. So the next day, my girlfriend at the time, the mother of my children, was like, oh, she was like a hippie girl. So she's like, oh, look, it's a full moon, talking to our daughter. And my daughter says, I don't want to put any of my kids' names on her, but my daughter says, um, I don't want to look up there. Aliens are up. She's 6 years old. Aliens are up there. And I look at my girl and I go, why did she say that? Did you let her watch a movie or something? I said, baby girl, why did you say that? Did you see that in a movie? Did somebody show you that in a book, or did somebody tell you that at school? And she says, no, aliens are up there. They take me in their ship. And I go, what? And she goes, they take me in their ship and they talk to me. I go, what do they say? She
Hmm.
said, and I'll never forget her response. She says, they
What'd you
don't
say?
talk with their mouth. She was a 6-year-old girl. Said they don't talk with their mouth. Okay, now here's my experience. So I was driving. This was in 2010. I was a truck driver, cruising across America. I was going from Indiana. I was going into Michigan. So I was Michiana. I don't really know if I was in Michigan yet or Indiana. I was right there at the border. So as I'm looking up, I look up really high in the sky. It was nighttime sky, and I could see an airplane, what I thought was an airplane, and it moves from left to right, but then it goes from right to left. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm a truck driver. I know how much fuel costs. Airplanes go from point A to point B. They don't go backwards. That would cost them a lot of money, and that's
Yeah.
stupid. So I start watching it. As I'm focusing on it, now I got to watch the road for a minute, and the ship, the whatever was in the sky stopped. And then when I looked back up, it started coming back towards me. And then when I looked away, it would stop because I got to watch the road. I'm driving. But
Yeah.
what I realize now is that whatever technology they had, and I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, and I don't talk about it a lot, but they were honed in on my optical view of them. They couldn't
Right.
find me unless I was looking at them. And once I looked at them, they came right down and they were across the street. Now, they had it was four big bright lights, like square. They were red, and they
Yeah.
were like the runway lights going
Yeah.
from right to left. And it was a big
Hmm.
one, a smaller, big, small, small,
Wow.
small. And it was like I don't know if that shows which direction they're flying, or I don't know
I
what
know.
that why they need that.
Did
But
they land? Did they land? This is
no,
Encounters, the
I,
UFO talk
I
show.
don't think they landed, but maybe they could have landed and I don't remember it. But I don't think they did because I talked to them telepathically. I knew that they could hear me. So what
Telepathically. Yeah.
I said, listen, I know that you exist. I just want to live my life because I was really scared. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is how, uh, you know, um, abduction stories start. And I don't want to be a statistic and it's just, vacuumed up. So,
What did they
I,
say to you? What did what was their response
They,
telepathically to
they
you?
they took off. They didn't say anything. They just went away. Like
Now,
they
I
left.
got to stop you for a minute. Going back to your daughter, because I
Yeah,
listen to every single word of every person. Your
yeah.
daughter was taken on board a ship.
That's what she says. Yes, but when
Oh,
I try to
she
talk
was. She
about it
was
now,
taken on board a ship.
well, that's what she says. I don't know what she
Well,
had. Maybe she was
little
in the
kids don't
room.
lie. They,
Maybe
the
they took
little
her.
kids
Maybe
have an
that's
expression
what
like
she
that. You
thought.
got to believe it.
What's that? Well, I'm just taking it. I don't. Children don't know. They don't have a lot of experiences to actually know what's real.
Oh, they know. They know what
Well,
they experience. They
Well, she might
do.
have been in a room in another dimension. Maybe it's not a ship. I don't know.
No,
Maybe she
she was taken on board a
was.
ship. I get information, Froggy. I'm going to help you here. This is what I do. When I listen to stories about this, I'm at a level of frequency that I can read into things. And when you tell me about your daughter, I don't have to know who she is.
I gotta
You
tell you
know,
this
she
part. Check this
she was
out.
taken on board a ship. She was
She's not
taken. If
an
you also
biological
sit,
daughter.
if you
She's
sit
an
down and talk
adopted
to
daughter.
her, if you talk
What?
to her a little bit, let her explain about the ship.
She
You'll learn a
won't.
little bit
No,
about things from her.
she's older. She's 27 now. This happened when she
Oh,
was 6.
oh, okay. That's a long time ago. Well,
She
hey,
doesn't. She does, and now when I talk about it, she gets very uncomfortable. So I don't talk about it anymore.
okay,
She doesn't
okay.
like the story. It was a bad experience for her, and I think she just wants to forget it. To tell you the truth.
I got
And
you.
here's another
Kids
thing.
do, yeah.
She's
I
not a
mean, adults do.
biological daughter. So I think that they were watching me throughout my life, and then realized that this was my child, but that wasn't. And so now they don't really bother her anymore. She's only had that one
Yeah.
experience. I have never had any other experiences after, but I had them when I was 6 years old also. To tell you
And
the
let me give
truth,
you a break for just a moment. We have, let's say hello, Froggy, to Rachel. Rachel, say hello to Froggy. I want to bring her into the conversation.
sure.
And good morning, Rachel. We have Wisdom Keeper here, my good friend out west
I
with
gotta
the
go.
Star Nation. And we'll be doing some stuff with him hopefully next year where we'll be going out that way. But I want to bring Rachel in. Rachel, good morning and welcome to our morning show here. It's 9:54 a.m. on the East Coast. Let me say, please share and like. If you haven't gifted the show, your gifts are very well appreciated here. So if you know how to use TikTok gifts, if you're on TikTok and you know what those little things are where you can gift 1,000 points, 1,000 coins, I think, for a galaxy, we do want to see gifting. I'm actually putting that pin there, which I just added. So 1,000 TikTok coins do a galaxy. You can do whales, whatever you want to do, flowers. So I really want everyone to start who can do it. If you can't do it, I can understand that. Chesno is one of my moderators. Thank you, Chesno. Rachel, thank you. Adorable, thank you. Everybody here. That's why my teachings and what I do on this UFO show are what it is, because this is a show where we listen to people's stories. We don't have arguments here. I won't allow it. We have people here to share. There's other TikToks where they jump all over each other and it gets nowhere. I've been on radio for 20 years. I'm a good listener. Part of my mission here coming to Earth is to listen to people's stories, doing my TV broadcast here. And that's why I love everybody, because whoever you are, I got to love you, because where I come from, that's all there is love. From the system I come from Mars, this Mars on your solar system is where I come from. And there's about 10 to 15 million inhabitants on that planet. Believe it or not, beyond what you've been told, there are people living on Mars that are spiritual beings of light, and they live on Mars. So I just want to get out of the way. Rachel, go right ahead. I just wanted to get people to realize they're watching Encounters. This is the UFO Talk Show on TikTok, the top show on social media. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning. And I was going to ask Eddie a question before he hopped off, but
Yeah.
I'll take and contact him later and ask him my
Okay.
question that I need to ask him. But my son also had an experience at a very young age, and this was in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
80s, 90s, and he
Okay.
also experienced abduction. Well, I shouldn't say abduction; it was more like
Contacting,
visitation. Yeah.
visitation.
Yeah, it was, and they would come and get him, and he was drawing everything down on paper. He was
Mm-hmm.
coloring and drawing pictures and writing hieroglyphs and
Mm-hmm.
and all kinds of things that I couldn't understand at the time. I had no idea about this at all.
Yeah.
And at first, I discarded it, and I tried to stop him. I tried to stifle his voice, which in hindsight, I should have never done. And I learned that as I went along, but they would come and get him, and he said they were always two grays. One was a male, and one was a female, and they would always talk to him telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And with him, there were times that when they would come and get him, there were several other grays that would go and get other children in the area where we lived. And he knew some of these kids from
Mm-hmm.
school. But when they were in school, they never talked about it.
Really?
They never talked about it ever. That's what I find amazing. And with my son, they were teaching him. They were teaching him about the craft that they were in, about the planet they were from, and about them. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted very much for these young children to learn about them and have an aspect of where they were from and what they were doing and the crop circles and all that. And I never knew anything. I mean, he would tell me, Mom, they came and got me again last night. And then the next thing I know, before he's going to school, he's eating his bowl of cereal and drinking his juice, and he's writing down on a piece of paper, and the bus would come, he'd run out the door, and I'd look at the paper, and they would be like squiggly lines and swirlies and like
Yeah.
in a line or a cross. And I'd look
Mm-hmm.
at it, and I'd ask him when he came home, I'd say, what is this, TJ? What is it? Well,
What
that
is
was
it?
on their panel, Mom. That's what
Yeah.
they wanted me to see on their panel. And I mean,
Wow. Interesting.
I wish I would have kept some of this stuff.
Oh God, you should have. It would have been amazing. They were teaching him about their world, about their language, about, the
Yep.
thing is, what people call grays, and again, it's the same thing, but the true Earth-based word is gray. These are Zeta Reticuli beings, so they're different types of Zetas. So there's no grays, although I've heard that term. So this is an education teachable moment in terms of phrasing. For me, words are everything. So they are Zeta, but there are no grays around the world. They're just actually Zeta, but different levels of Zeta. Some Zeta, like the man and the woman Zeta, the fact that they came to teach these kids are not afraid. Adults get freaked out. Kids when an ET, a space being comes to them, the kids are curious. They're interested. They're not being taught fear. They're not being taught by their parents to be afraid of anything. So
Mhm.
a lot of times parents do a disservice to their little kids if they say, "Mommy, Daddy, I just had a spaceman come and take me on a ship." And oh, you can't. I don't want you talking about. What are you talking about space? There's no spaceman. And parents will do that. Now I'm not saying people in this room do that, but there are people on this planet that, as parents, they're well-meaning, but sometimes parents, you make a mistake. When your kid tells you a story, you need to listen to it. You need to
Mhm.
understand it. You need to not come in with your own perceptions of belief that you were taught as a kid by your parents, because all those belief systems are programmed belief systems on Earth. When you listen to your kids say, "I was just taken on a ship to a planet so and so," and your mom and dad say, "Have you been watching too many cartoons lately?" You know, parents, you've got to stop doing that. You're
Yeah.
hindering your kids from knowing the truth, and they know the truth because
Yeah.
they're innocent. They're not brainwashed by all the stuff on this planet. They're innocent. Listen to them. Learn from your kids. You think you're teaching your kids something? Your kids going on a spaceship with space people can teach you 10 times more than you can teach them because their consciousness is wide open. That's what you got to listen to. And
It
people
taught
don't do that,
me. It taught
you
me a
know?
lesson. I mean, it really, in the long run, it taught me a valuable lesson in part of raising my child. And um, uh, is my son still visited? He went. It stopped. They stopped coming to retrieve him probably when I want to say when he got into high school.
Hmm.
And then after he got out of high school, graduated, he went into the Air Force. And then right after he got out of the Air Force, he came back home and he was working for a friend out on a lake at a lake
Hmm.
house. And the house was up on pontoons way, way, way up in the air, way up in
Wow.
the air.
Okay.
And he was doing some sheetrock late one night, and this is the first time that he has had a visitation since he was in high school. And so
Really?
he was a little freaked out about it, and he had just gotten out of the Air Force, and he explained to me he was shaken. I have never heard my son's voice like this ever. He was shaken, not in the sense that he was scared, he was just shocked that they
That's tough.
came back. And he said that he would have had to been levitating up above, way up above the ground to be in that window where my son could see him. But
Yeah.
he swears to God that this is one of the beings that used to come and get him as a
Hmm.
child. And
And
he
they don't
said,
forget.
No. And he goes, Mom, he goes, I got to tell you something really weird. And he goes, I never realized this before. He goes, but they do age. He goes, not very much though. He goes, but I could tell he aged. And it was the same one that used to come and get me
Wow.
when I was younger.
Wow. Unbelievable. Let me introduce
Yeah.
Ruby Dooby here. We have Rachel. We have Froggy, and who's a great guest too. And I'm glad I got him on here to share his stories and poems. And Ruby Dooby, welcome to the show. Can you turn your camera on?
Oh,
Pressing some buttons there.
no, gosh, no. I just woke up. I'm not
Oh,
even
you just woke
surprised.
up? Okay. Well,
I
welcome to
was
the show,
laying
Ruby.
again
So,
in the hot tub,
what do you want to
thinking I
share
have
with us
lots of
out
weird
there in
stories.
New Mexico?
Let me just, I could pop it on for a minute. Hang on, let me just get,
Okay.
I'll pop it on in a second. Let me get some actual clothes on.
All right.
Um,
So, yeah,
Listen,
definitely
I
do that. We
wanted
don't
to
want you
say
naked
something
on the show
about
here.
what
That
Rachel's
wouldn't work.
talking about. You guys just talk about if you think you're scared about seeing the aliens, wait till you see this before it's had a chance to
And Ruby
to be
Dooby's had a
truth
lot
there.
of spaceship experience. She lives in White Sands, New Mexico area. We've
Yeah.
had her on before, and she's showed us right on the screen with the C5 with her, and she's had some incredible sightings down where she is. It's just an area where the Air Force Base is nearby, but the extraterrestrial sightings of ships, she's had numerous sightings a lot of times. Even when she's not on with us, I'm sure she's having things happen. So. I'm Commander Leon, the
Just
host of the
recently.
show.
Yeah, just recently, I would say it's really amped up.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to amp up even more into next year.
Yeah,
You
I've
think this is
lived here all my
something?
life. I've never seen
Yeah.
this kind of activity. But when I
Yeah.
was a
The reason why
child,
you're
also, I
saying
would
the
say between
activity,
the ages
Ruby?
of 8 and 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also, when I would go to bed at night, it became like a chore. I remember having feelings about it because I would go get in my bed and lay down, go sleep. But right before I fell asleep, I had to watch this scroll that would go across when my eyes were closed, and it
Mm-hmm.
was fluorescent orange, and it was like a doily. You know what I mean? Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
that called? Like cutout kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It was like a fluorescent orange paper doily scroll,
Mm-hmm.
if you can imagine. And I was basically that I had to do it every night. I had to watch the scroll go across my eyes. And I remember sometimes paying attention to it, mostly being annoyed because it would just be there until I fell asleep. And it was almost like I felt like I was in school. Like, okay, here we go. We got to watch the scroll and then we can sleep. And that went on for a few years as a child. And it's very much, ingrained in my memory too, which you have to pay attention to things that, remain in your memory because that's usually significant.
Yeah.
So I can really relate to that, Rachel. You said that your son had described like something rolling in front of him or like a banner or
Mm-hmm.
a screen, and it was kind of like downloading. I felt like it was something that I had to do. It was going into my mind. It was language that was on this scroll. It was some kind of symbols and cut out angles, and I never paid attention to it because it made me mad
Mm-hmm.
or annoyed. I wouldn't say mad. I always felt annoyed when I was falling
Mm-hmm.
asleep because I would feel like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how things like that happen. When we see things, our perception of reality changes as we get in terms of mature adult stage, and as we continue to grow in that level, our consciousness shifts. I mean, obviously, if we're tuned in, and you are, so, and also because of all the things you experience since I've known you, with the sightings, when you come live, all these things that happen, the intensity that you're saying it's amping up, it's increasing in New Mexico where you are, in White Sands. Also, the intensity of what's going to happen now. The video I just posted from an airline, American Airlines, that people need to go on my Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You're going to see what is one of the best UFO videos ever. And I mean ever. I've been in this thing for a long time. I've documented videos that are sent to me. I look at every single video. Not every one of them gets posted. If it's just a dot, I don't post it because there's no way I can determine. If it's really a close video and a good video shot of a spaceship, it gets posted. I know what these things are. I know what CGI is. I know what aircrafts are. I'm a CE5 activist coordinator of the Ashtar Command CE5 group here in New England. We are very dedicated. We know about all these things. So there's nothing that can get past me. So I know. So when these things happen, and you take a look at that sighting that happened on that airline jet with the passenger videotaping it, got some great footage. Those ships were so luminous. They were so big from even the distance. And now understand, the airline jet's 30,000 feet up above the earth. That's about standard height for the airline jet to fly from North Carolina to LAX. When you see the video, and everyone's going to have to look at it, it's on my main page. I pinned it. You're going to see the most beautiful example of galactic ships in our atmosphere. Totally, without a question. And what's going to happen as you think things are happening up in New Mexico and White Sands next year, in 2024, you're going to see even 10 times more extraterrestrial spaceships coming around our atmosphere. And I know this for a fact. As we get into 25, 26, into 27, that's when contact is going to happen with the Palladians. Now, my sources are my DoD contact, Shai, has confirmed it, that there's going to be contact. My three other sources, including my own self, last year, through meditation, through my contact off planet, I'm a telepathic communicator with Kadar Manka of the Sagittarian Council. Now, Kadar Manka is a space being within the Ashtar Galactic Command. I don't channel. I never channel. I've been doing my contact with him before there was an internet, before people were able to post channelings and all this other stuff. I don't channel anything. My information that I give you from him is always direct, always accurate. I won't put any of my own information. I will not put on here unless it's accurate. So if you want some cosmic information, that's what my show also is about. If you want to know what's really going on, forget the websites. It's all misinformation garbage out there. Most of it, 90% of it is. There might be a few that aren't. Most of it is. All right. So I want you to know that things are amping up. Like you used the word
I
amped up
had
is
one
a
of my
great.
videos taken down.
Really?
I had one of my videos taken down by TikTok for violations. It was a home video of an object that would appear to be a large light orb that was slowly gliding across the sky. And right as we were videotaping it, it basically exploded or dissipated. My son and I took the
Really?
video on our own phone, and it was up on TikTok and it was up on Facebook for about a month. No, it's been about 3 weeks now that we saw that thing. Now, granted, we understood that there was a missile that was shot off that day. There were some things that could have been in the
Yeah.
sky and fragmenting. We understood that. But this was an actual video of what we saw, and it was very clear. And yet it was taken down by TikTok, and it was claimed that that was a violation of TikTok.
Interesting. Now, what do you think it was that you were seeing?
Like I said, we're here right by SpaceX. They were shooting off a bunch of stuff that very morning. I put it, the video got comments that it was possibly a meteor. We got comments that it was a piece of the SpaceX craft, but it was perfectly round. You can see that in the video. It was clearly what we would describe as a light orb, and it was traveling in the manner that I've seen the other objects travel, which is not necessarily fast, but it's kind of like it's just not a normal movement.
Hmm.
I describe it as, you know, the old Atari, when you would
Yeah.
play Atari on the TV, the way that that
Yeah.
thing moved and bounced is
Yeah.
how these things move to me. They don't really
Interesting.
fly. They're not really being projected, but it's like the Atari ball. And I've even seen them hit other things and then bounce and move like that.
Interesting. Interesting. It's
Which leads you
probably
to
only.
my science fiction novel, where in the science fiction novel I describe the sky as a plasma digital screen.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, we're
going to
getting
step
to.
down so you
Okay,
can get
Rachel.
somebody else.
Rachel,
Okay.
thank you for the story, and talk to your son
You're
more
welcome.
about that sighting he just had. Try to get some more information from him.
I will.
Keep us in touch with that. That's really
Okay.
amazing. It's getting to 12:13, and I said it'd be on here to 12:15. We're on the East Coast. I want to thank Froggy. Man, you've been amazing. Thanks for coming on here and sharing all this stuff and about you when your kid was 6 and all the stuff that, it's just, we had a great time with you. Thanks so much for being a part of the show today. I almost said tonight. Thank you for being here. All right. We appreciate it. And we'll let him go. I want to thank Ruby Doobie in New Mexico. Thank you, Ruby. Keep in touch. And if you have anything happen, we're going to be on
Thanks,
tonight.
guys.
We
Appreciate it.
appreciate all your information from New Mexico and White Sand. I'm going to be out of here. Please, some final gifting. I haven't seen any galaxies. I always like to at least get one galaxy out there from somebody with 1,000 coins. So if you have 1,000 plus coins and you want to do a galaxy, that's what it takes. And whatever coins you have, you can gift a pizza pie. It could be a whale, whatever you want to do. So let's do some final gifting. It helps support the mission work that we're doing here. And we are on most nights. We did we had some technical things with the TikTok thing. We had to get fixed. And then I don't want to go on without that being fixed, which is my green screen. I hope you all have a beautiful day. And we'll do some final gifting now. And then we're going to sign off for today. And again, we thank everybody for watching Encounters, the UFO Spiritual Talk Show, only on social media here on TikTok. And again, you can see this show later. It'll be on my YouTube channel. Sometime today, we'll have it posted on YouTube. You'll see all my past shows on YouTube. If you miss anything, a night show or a day show, it will be on YouTube. Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Have a good day, Moonbeam. Everybody else there, have a good day. Tanya, thanks for joining us. Chesno, one of my moderators, and also with our Ashtar group, thanks for being with us. I don't have it have right now, or I would when I reload. Okay, when you reload, Tanya, that's fine. No big deal. Anna, everybody, thanks for being here. Catch you all later. Catch you tonight on Late Night with Encounters, the late night UFO talk show.